hey, let's check out the game. Oh, you son of a... Oh, well, what's there to say about Pac-Man? I mean, you eat the dots, you're chased by monsters, you avoid the monsters, eat these energizers that will enable you to eat the monsters for a brief amount of time, chomp on a bonus prize, etc., etc. No point wasting more time with that. Pac-Man Plus is a little bit different. It's sped up a little bit. Prices are strange. You got what appears to be a can of Coke, loaves of bread, and stuff like that. And they act as energizers, too. They usually make the monsters invisible, but you could eat them. And at times, even when you eat the energizers, one monster won't turn blue. And other times, the maze will turn invisible. So it's definitely a nice step up from Pac-Man. And then for something totally different, you have Super Pac-Man. It really changed the Pac-Man formula back then. You didn't eat any dots at all. To unlock parts of the maze in order to get to the food. And along with that, you have 2 Super Pac-Man energizers, which once you eat one of those, not only does it make you gigantic and invulnerable to monster attacks, the press of the speed button, you get to go super fast through the maze and even crash through the barriers, so you won't need a key to unlock those areas. Then really straying from the Pac-Man formula even more is Pac-N-Pal. Again, like Super Pac-Man, you unlock areas of the maze in order for you to eat anything, which again, you don't eat any dots. But then you also don't even eat any of the monsters. What you do instead, you unlock special icons like the tractor beam from Galaga, and you zap the monsters with that, or the smoke screen from Rally X. Now, that doesn't make me sadistic in saying I think it's really hilarious when you zap them with the smoke screen that the monster's eyes tear up, does it? Nah. Also, as far as the namesake goes, you have this annoying little past name as Pal. Yeah, sure, he's a real pal, where he swipes your items and takes them back into the monster pen. Yeah, real nice. Also, like Super Pac-Man, you also have your share of bonus stages as well. And if you don't want to just play a bunch of Pac-Man games, well, you got some space games too. There's Bosconian. Fly around and destroy space fortresses. You can either do so by destroying all the pods on them, or a well-placed shot right up the middle will do it. You also have to avoid or shoot smaller crafts and avoid or destroy various space junk like meteors and space mines. There's also Galaxian, which is a real step up from the Space Invaders genre back then, where coming in color this time around. Yeah, I remember that when they actually had games that were in black and white back then. Here the aliens actually broke formation and dive bombed you. And then an even bigger improvement over that was Galaga. Not only do the aliens fly into formation firsthand and they dive bomb you, there's also a ship that will capture one of your reserve ships, and when you free that up, you get double firepower. This really elevated the Space Invaders genre to just incredible heights, and most people in general said this is the best bottom-of-the-screen shooter game ever made. And speaking of games that redefine genres, there's also Xevious, really proved the scrolling shooter genre by shooting targets on land and in the air. The game also had really incredible graphics from back then, just a wide variety of enemies. I mean, where do you get these disappearing 8-balls? Where do you see that in any other game ever? And then coming back to Earth, pardon the pun, well, sort of, with Mappy, this strange platformer, you navigate through a house collecting all these objects, and you do that by jumping on trampolines while avoiding cats. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Also not making any sense in people bitching about violence in video games from back then. They were even whined about killing all these robots in Berserk. Oh no, how could you? I don't know how Jddd got underneath the radar. It's a pretty big hit. I mean, you blow up creatures until they explode. I guess people didn't bitch about that because there's no blood in it or something. You also get to smush them with rocks. Yeah, this is family entertainment at its finest. But I guess it's okay as long as you eat your bonus veggies. And then finally, rounding out the pack, pardon the pun again, pole position. And just a basic racing game. Try not to crash into any of the cars and make the lap in a decent amount of time so you can get extended plays. And that's pretty much it. Now, Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Super Pac-Man, Galaga, and Mappy were all, aside from a tiny glitch in Super Pac-Man, I think all these games were perfectly recreated. I think the sounds are off a tiny bit in the background tune in Mappy, but other than that, they play perfectly fine, just like the arcade counterparts. Jddd gets, it's kind of a strange treatment. I guess they wanted to recreate most of the arcade games had a tall vertical screen, and it's so big it scrolls around a little bit, which, I mean, it plays exactly the same as the original, but there are times when you think the round's done with and the music keeps on going, then you realize there's a creature that's nearing the top of the screen. You can't see it, so you got to scroll up and find it.